Can USC actually end the Pac-12's drought, Heather?
They can, but I'm in I'll believe it when I see it mode with the Pac-12 because I can't tell you how many times over the past decade I've been sitting at the Gaylord Texan Hotel on Friday night when this conference has the stage to itself and wah, wah, wah. So, listen, I talked to Alex Grinch, their defensive coordinator at USC. He knows they've got to tackle better. They've got to play better. This is Lincoln Riley's blueprint. Fantastic offense, subpar defense. If you're going to get into the top 4, you've got to be able to be a more complete team. I like Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan. I would even throw in the ACC champ there as a chance. So I'm going like 70-75% for the Trojans.
She didn't even mention Georgia. Heather didn't even mention Georgia. She
Georgia.
threw in like 4.
But we expect Georgia to be in there. We expect Georgia to be in there.
She doesn't even need to say it. What do you think, Harry?
I think they have a chance, but I think it's predicated off of this right here. The offensive line and the defensive line. And Lincoln Riley is a guy at USC who has utilized the transfer portal. They have 3 guys in the transfer portal that they got that's going to be on their starting offensive line. I think that's imperative in what they want to do if they want to get to the college football playoffs and also the defensive side of things. When I looked at this USC team last year against Utah, in which they lost twice, once during the regular season and then in the Pac-12 championship game, the offensive line and the defensive line is what showed up. That offensive line allowed 7 sacks in that Pac-12 championship game, and also that defense got ran all over by Cam Rising and company of the Utah Utes. So when I look at this defense now, they got a transfer. They got about 4 transfers on their defensive line. Big Bear Alexander, who came from the University of Georgia, about 6'3", 310 pounds. He's going to be a guy that's going to be able to anchor that defensive line. They also have a safety coming back who had 5 interceptions last year, Kalen Bullock. I'm looking forward to him having a big year. But if they can control that offensive line and defensive line, they definitely have a chance to make the college football playoffs.
Only 2 tough road games this year for Southern Cal. They have to go to Notre Dame, per usual, or play them per usual, I should say, and they have to go to Oregon. So can they overcome that? Look, what would be bad, I think, is for Williams to win the Heisman Trophy yet again and not be in the CFP.
That'd be
the
sad.
last time we even saw a Heisman Trophy winner not in the CFP and win a Heisman was Lamar Jackson, and that was a long time ago as well. Now, you brought up the transfer portal, did you, Harry Douglas?
Uh-oh.
And Lane Kiffin has been bringing it up as well. Yesterday, Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin made some interesting comments, if you will, on the state of college football. Take a listen.
I kind of try to think things through, and the other things that happen when you do something, just like when everybody was like, oh, we got this NIL, it's great. And then, in this portal, it's great. Whoa. And I'm not saying I was the only one saying it. I'm like, whoa, this is a disaster coming because you just legalized cheating. And you just told donors they can pay the players. That's what you did. And then, it's supposed to be set up, well, it's really for your name, image, likeness, for your marketing. Again, that's not what happened. That's not what's happening. They're getting paid to go to school, so it's paid for play.
Okay. I'm not going to deny that I think everyone believes there are some holes in the situation with the transfer portal and with NIL. Nonetheless, there's not many that have benefited more than Lane Kiffin. Heather, what do you think about what Lane Kiffin had to say yesterday?
Well, I think disaster is a pretty strong word to describe the state of college football. It more adequately describes the second half of Lane Kiffin's season last year after what was a strong start. But to be fair, I think college football is certainly at a pivotal point. It's at a crossroads, transformational change, all those things you want to say. But the bottom line is this: for over 150 years, this sport has evolved and adapted, and I think it will continue to do so as long as the leaders throughout college athletics continue to go along with it, and coaches like Lane Kiffin certainly get paid enough to figure it out and adapt along the way.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that last point up. Coaches like Lane Kiffin that get paid enough to adapt. And he likes to bring up NIL, and we all know there could be tweaks in that. But the issue I have is when you have coaches making $6 million to $8 million to be mediocre, to not make an SEC championship game, to lose the last 4 games of the season, to not beat Alabama and win the big game. That's the issue I start having. And no one has benefited from the transfer portal, I think, more so than the Ole Miss Rebels. This year in 2023 and also in 2022. So sometimes it can be a little hypocritical when certain things come out of people's mouths.
A little hypocritical. I mean, this is the same guy that left Tennessee in shambles. Are we kidding?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.